Hi, today we're going to talk about an area in your lower back that is often a little bit ignored. So I'm going to give you 3 specific exercises for this area and 3 specific stretches for the area. And the area I'm talking about is called your QL, or your quadratus lumborum. And this is a spot in your lower back that literally connects your spine to your pelvis. And it acts, when both sides are working, it acts as a back extensor. If only one side is working, it acts as a bit of a side flexor. So we're going to do a little work with this, the 3 exercises. The first one I'm going to give you is a kneeling back extension with rotation. So what you're going to do in this one is go into this kneeling position and try and lean way over with a neutral spine, holding this position, and then rotate and rotate, rotate and rotate. And in this, you will get those QLs working, but also in a functional rotating position. So that's exercise number 1. I would suggest doing about 12 reps in total, 6 per side, alternating. Then from here, we're going to do a different one. This one is simple. It's a side flexion. We're going to take a dumbbell for it. And what you're doing here with your feet together is you're simply going away and squeezing this side. So when you're thinking about this, you're thinking about squeezing the side to pull away from the resistance that's pulling you that way. So you're squeezing this side. If you held 2 dumbbells, you wouldn't get the same effect, because you're literally being pulled by the dumbbell one direction, pulled by the dumbbell the other direction. The emphasis is that the weight is on this side and you are squeezing against the weight to work this side of your QL. Do about 10 of these and then switch sides to then squeeze the other side. Your stomach is in, you're holding tall posture, and you're squeezing down right in this zone between your pelvis and your rib cage. That's going to be roughly where that quadratus lumborum is. And again, about 10 on that side. I've chosen a moderate weight, 12 pounds. Start with something light, like 10 or 12 pounds, and then you can work from there, assuming that you haven't had any crazy soreness or anything. The last exercise I'm going to give you is a really goofy one. You may never have done this before, but it's funny, functional, and really gets that key area. And it's called a QL walk. We won't call it a butt scoot, we'll call it a QL walk. So in this position of a tall seated position, you're going to walk forward with your hips, with your butt bones taking steps on the ground. Now, if you find your hamstrings are a little bit tight, just bend your knees a little bit. If you've got the range of motion, you can straighten them, hold a tall position, and you're going to step and step and step and step. We're lifting and working through the functional range with this QL activation. And I would go forward for about 12 steps and then go backwards. Step, step, step. You're using these obscure muscles to make these steps. Okay, so those are the 3 exercises. I would take about 12 steps forward, 12 steps back. Now we're going to do 3 stretches, really simple ones for the QL. This first one is going to be very much like the exercise. All you're going to do is stand together with your feet and lean away, opening right from the top of the pelvis, thinking about this area lengthening by sliding your hand down your leg. And just hold that, open it up, and then switch sides. Just lean away and open that up. If you're really tight from your sports, from sitting, from computer work, driving, whatever it is, then just gently hold this stretch first. If you want to advance it a little bit, the second stretch will look like this. You're going to put one foot down to anchor. You're going to act as though you're dragging the other leg, and then push this hip out and lean away with your arm. So now you're getting a greater lengthening from the pelvis through this QL and opening right up. And And that will be a little more of an advanced stretch. Again, showing you here, foot down, dragging the foot or just lengthening across this hip, opening here and leaning away with that hip jutted out. And that will open as well. Third stretch for you. This is my favorite one. You're gonna sit tall against a wall. So this is just a seated wall QL stretch, tall posture. And from here, I'm gonna put one elbow towards the ground and lean open to again anchor this hip, but open that QL just above the hip, opening it right up. And then I can hold that for about 20, 30 seconds and then go towards the other side. This one feels so good. If you've been sitting for a long time or even waking up in the morning, it feels so good to open up these areas in the lower back and all the way through the rib cage, just engaging and opening all the way through the upper body. So those 3 exercises and those 3 stretches, I think will make a real difference in being able to tackle an area that gets really ignored and can get really tight and problematic if it's neglected. So go for it, give them a try.